So here y by x is equal to tan theta of r minus x by r. So we want a tan theta. So we have to prove tan theta is equal to tan alpha plus tan beta. So bring this tan theta this side, and tan theta is equal to y by x of, you bring this one this side. So it will become r by r minus x. Okay. So this can be written as y by x of, instead of r, this is the range. Instead of r, you write x plus r minus x. So instead of r, I am writing x plus r minus x. Of course, both are same. It is equal to r, because this minus x plus x get cancelled by r minus x. Okay. So here you apply this one. So r by y by x into x by r minus x. So you apply distributive law. You multiply y by x. Here y by x of, this can be written as x by r minus x plus r by x by r minus x, r minus x by r minus x. You will get 1. So you apply distributive law. Okay, that is tan theta. So what you will get? Tan theta is equal to, I will write here. Okay. So tan theta is equal to y by x into 1, y by x plus y by x into x by r minus x. This x get cancelled. You will get y by r minus x. Okay. So tan theta is equal to, what is y by x from this? We can write a tan r plus, what is y by r minus x? We can write tan beta. So tan theta is equal to tan alpha plus tan beta. So hence proved. Okay. So this is the proof of this. Okay, take this. Next one. We are discussing some problems in kinematics, that is both 2-dimensional and 1-dimensional. Okay. So a body is dropped. From same height at two different places, A and B. Time taken to reach ground at A is t seconds less, and the velocity at A is v meter second inverse more compared to place B. Then product of acceleration due to gravities. Due to gravities. Or G1 G2 is equal to V by T square. Okay, so we have to prove this. Product of acceleration due to gravities should be equal to V by T whole square. We have to prove. Or V by T is equal to square root of G1 G2. What is V here? So at two different places, let it be place A, place B. Acceleration due to gravity in place A is G1. Acceleration due to gravity at place B is G2. Acceleration due to gravity changes from place to place. Gravity changes from place to place. At a given place, it is constant. Okay? So at a given place, it is constant. So here at both places you dropped from same height. Same height. So same height h. At place A, it takes t seconds less. So here it will take a time t1 seconds to reach the ground. So place A, at place A, it takes t seconds less. So time taken to reach ground is given by the formula square root of 2h by g. Okay, so that time I take it as t1. So their acceleration due to gravity is g1. Height is h. So this is the formula for time of descent. A body is dropped from a height h. How much time it will take to reach the ground? Square root of 2h by g. So I am using that expression. So at place B, it takes time t2. So it is given by 2h by g2. Here at place A, it takes t seconds less. Less means g will be more. That means g1, we can conclude that from these two, t1, since t1 less than t2, we can say that then g1 greater than g2. Okay, that means if gravity will be more, it will take less time. So that t2 minus t1 difference in times is t given, because it takes t seconds less. What is t2? Square root of 2h by g2 minus square root of 2h by g1 is t. So you take LCM. So root to g1 g2 LCM. So here is g1 g2 g1 you will get. So g1 root to 2h you take it as common. So root to 2h g1 under root minus, here you will get square root of 2h g2. So this is we got here, that is should be equal to t. So but velocity at place A on reaching A, how much it is? the velocity at place A. With what velocity it strikes the ground? Let it be v1. So if it drops from a height h, with what velocity it will strike the ground? Square root of 2g1h. At place B, if it is dropped from a height h, with what velocity it will strike the ground? Square root of 2g2h. So the given is v is, so at place A it is v meter second inverse more as compared with this. That means v1 minus v2 is v, that is given. So this is, we can write it as v1 minus v2. So I will write this one. Okay. So I am using this space to answer this one. Okay. So here I am writing this one. T is equal to root 2g h1 minus, instead of 2g1h we can write v1, minus instead of 2gh2 we can write v2 by root g1g2. That is, but v1 minus v2 is given as v, that is given. So we write T is equal to v by root g1 g2. So v by t is equal to square root of g1 g2. So hence proved. Okay. So this one is we proved here. If what is v here? Velocity at place A will be more than velocity at place B, but it will take t seconds less as compared to place B because of more gravity. Okay. So you take this. Next one. So the next one. Suppose from a tower of height h, an object is projected with velocity u from top of a tower. Second object is projected with velocity u, same velocity, but down. Okay. And third object is projected with velocity, same velocity u, same velocity u, but horizontally, simultaneously. If they reach the grounds in a times t1, t2, t3 seconds, and they strikes the velocities, the time taken by them are t1, t2, t3 respectively. If they hits the ground with velocities v1, v2, v3 respectively, then how do you correlate between v1, v2, v3, t1, t2, t3? So this is the question. Okay. So three objects projected simultaneously from a tower of height h with the same initial velocity, as shown in the figure, in the figure. Okay, if T1, T2, T3 are respect to times taken by the objects to reach ground, and V1, V2 and V3 corresponding velocities with which they hits the ground, hit the ground. Okay, find the relation between T1, T2, T3. First one, A, B. Find the relation between V1, V2 and V3. So this is the problem. So from a tower of height h, 3 objects are projected. One is projected vertically up, first body, with velocity u. So for that body, how much time it will take? T is, so it will take time. Time taken to hit the ground is u is equal to, so you have to use the height of the tower formula. So h is equal to, apply for stone A, object A, let it be. So what is the stone A? For getting time T1, T2, so you apply, what is the displacement for stone A? Minus h. So initial velocity u. So that is, so h is equal to, I am applying this, apply s is equal to ut plus half a t square for stone A. For stone A, I am applying. So stone A, s becomes minus h, u becomes ut1 minus half g t1 square. Okay, you call it as equation 1. This can be written as h is equal to ut1 minus ut1 plus half g t1 square. You call it as equation 1. What is t1? T1 is the time taken to hit the ground. Okay. Next, this is a quadratic expression in t. So you have to find the roots of this equation if you want to t. Okay. For the second stone, for stone we want velocities. Velocities are also I will write. With what velocity it will hits the ground? For stone A, for stone 1, I take it as 1, first object. So for first one, with what velocity it will hits the ground? Apply v square minus u square is equal to 2as for stone 1. So what you will get? We want v1, u is u square. You bring this side plus u square. Since it is rising up, minus z, and s is minus h. So this will becomes square root of u square plus 2gh. So v1 is equal to, this is v1 square. So v1 is equal to, what I am writing, v1 is equal to under root u square plus 2gh. Okay, so this is, I call it as equation 2. So with this velocity it will strikes the ground. This is for stone A. Similarly you apply for stone B. Okay, so I will write here. For stone B. Okay, for stone I will write here. This is for stone 1. Stone 2, that is for object 2. What is object 2? It is projected vertically down with initial velocity u. So how much time it will take? Time is, you apply s is equal to ut plus half at square for stone 2. S becomes h ut, since a becomes plus gt square. So this is t2 square. Equation, this is 3. This is equation 3. So this is also quadratic expression. You find that after getting the roots of this, you find a t2. Okay, then here t2, so you find the roots, you will get t2. Then you find the velocity. We apply v square minus u square is equal to 2as for stone 2. V square is velocity with which it hits the ground. v2 square, bring this u square this side, plus 2gh. So v2 is equal to, I got square root of u square by 2gh. Okay, you call it as equation, this is 3, 4. See the 4 and 2, we got the same, v1 is equal to v2. Okay, next for stone, for third object, stone 3, this one, it is projected horizontally, so it will take parabola. Okay, so this is a projectile, horizontal projectile. How much time it will take? So we proved already. Time taken for that is, you apply s is equal to ut plus half at square. So s is equal to ut plus half at square for stone 3. Displacement is vertical direction. You apply in vertical direction. Displacement is h minus h. Initial velocity, horizontal velocity is 0. Initial vertical velocity is 0. Vertical displacement is minus h, and half g. Vertical direction is g, t square. Let it be t3 square. Okay, this is displacement is plus h only. Okay, we are projected horizontally, so vertical displacement is h. So what is this? t3 is equal to, you will get the square root of 2h by g. Okay, this is t3. You call it as equation 5. Equation 5. Apply v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So horizontal component it will won't change, We proved already this one. So it has two components. Horizontal component is u, it won't change. So horizontal component is u only. You apply v square minus u square is equal to 2as in vertical directions. So what you will get? Vy square is equal to uy. Initial velocity is 0 in y direction to gh. That is under root. So this is Vy and this is Vx before touching the ground, because in horizontal direction there is no acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so velocity will remain the same. Initially u, after t seconds also u. So this is the velocity before hitting the ground I want. So v is equal to square root of Vx square plus Vy square. So that is, this is V3, I take it as. So what is Vx square, u square, Vy square is 2gh. So V3. So you call it as equation 6. See, now what we can conclude? What we can conclude? You observe the equations. From equations you check. First I will take 2. V1 is equal to square root of u square plus 2gh. From 4, V2 is equal to square root of u square plus 2gh. Equation 6, V3 is equal to u square plus 2gh. From equations 2, 4, 6, we have what we have. V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3. So this is the relation between V1, V2, V3. What does it mean? So if you project 3 objects simultaneously with the same initial velocities, one is projected vertically up, other is projected vertically down, third is projected horizontally. So what is our conclusion? These 3 stones will hit the ground with the same velocity. That is the conclusion. Okay. Next we want relation between time t1, t2, t3. So how they are correlated? So it is quite natural that this times h u t2. So you find this, it will take more time to hit the ground than this. And if it is, it will take time, this one will take less time, second time, quite natural, and it will take time square root of 2h by g, 2h by g, that is t3. The first stone will hit the ground with what? With the time. So it is t1 is, you see, t1 is, you will get this. So from this formula, h is equal to u t2 plus half g t2 square. So I multiplied this one. This is h. Second one is h minus u t2. So what I am doing, equations 1 and 2, what I am doing, I multiply with the t1 and t2. So what you will get? Let us see. If you multiply this one with the t1, this one, t1 you multiply with the t2. So what you will get? h t2 minus u t1 t2 plus half g t1 square t2. So this is for first one. For second stone, h here h I multiplied with the t1, h t1 u t2 t1. If you add these two, get cancelled. So half g t2 square into t1. Let us see what happened, what we will get. Okay, because I want to correlate between these two. Okay. So I am using here. So what I am doing, equation 1 is multiplied with equation 1 is multiplied with T2. So we get what we will get? T2. I will write here H T2 is equal to minus U T1 T2 plus half G T1 square T2. I multiplied the equation 1 with the T2. Okay. So I multiplied the equation 2 with the T1. We get what we get? HT1 equation not 2, equation 3. You multiply equation 3 with the T1. So HT1, what you will get? U T2 T1, U T1 T2 plus half G T2 square T1. Okay. So you multiplied these two. So what you will get? From these two equations you add, these two get cancelled. So you will get H of T1 plus T2. That is, you add these two. So what you will get? Half G, you take T1 T2 common, you will get T1 plus T2. Okay. So after adding these two equations, minus U T1 T2 plus U T2 T1 get cancelled. HT2 plus HT1. You take H as common, T1 plus T2. That is half G T1 square T2, half G T2 square T1. In that half G T1 T2 you take it as common. Here you will get a T1, here you get a T2. So here T1 plus T2 get cancelled. So what you will get? T1 T2 is equal to what you will get? 2H by G. T1 T2 is equal to 2H by G. Okay. Instead of 2H by G we can write so T3 square. So you call it as equation 7. See how you can relate T1 T2 T3 from that. So I will write here. Okay. I will write here. So what is from equations? From equations 5 and this 7. 5 and 7. So we have T1 T2 is equal to, this can be written as T3 square. So T3 is equal to square root of T1 T2. So this is the relation between T1 and T2 and T3. So what is the conclusion? T3 is equal to square root of T1 T2. So here T3 is the time taken by the object to reach the ground if it is projected horizontally. What is the T1? Time taken by the object to reach ground if object is projected vertically up. That is the first object. Second object vertically projected vertically down. Then this T3 is the time taken by the stone. Third object which is projected horizontally. Okay. So this is relation. Otherwise if you take a third object, if it is dropped, it will take same time. Even though you are projected third object, you dropped from same height. Otherwise you project horizontally. Both will take same time T3. That is T1 square root of T1 and T2. Clear? So we can, this is the relation between T1 and T2, T3. And also we can say that T1 greater than T2, T3 and T3. So T1 greater than T3 and T1 take more time to reach the ground, definitely. T1 take more time and T2 it will take less time. Okay. than T3. So we can conclude that T1 greater than T3 greater than T2. So which is the least time it will take? Second body. Okay. Okay. So this is a conclusion. Okay. Take this. So next one. So we know that time of ascent is equal to time of descent provided air resistance is neglected, isn't it? So if an object is projected with velocity u, okay, an object is projected with velocity u. So while return, it will hits with the same ground with the same velocity, okay, provided air resistance is neglected. So if air resistance is neglected, 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 we can say that time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Okay. And velocity with which it hits the ground is equal to velocity equal to the velocity with which it is projected up. That means if air resistance is neglected, that means there is no opposing force, only gravity. Okay, that means in vacuum. If a object is projected with velocity u, it will take a time of ascent is what is the time of ascent? Is u by z. What is the time of descent? U by g. So time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Okay. If air resistance is neglected, if you project with velocity u, it will strikes the ground with the same velocity. Okay, provided velocity with which it is projected hits the ground is equal to velocity with which it is hits the ground is equal to velocity with which it is projected up. That means if you are projected with velocity u, it will hits the ground with the same velocity as far as magnitude is concerned. Okay, so that one also we can prove. How? So I want velocity here. Velocity, you apply v is equal to square root of 2gh. So here velocity is 0. With what velocity it will hits the ground? Square root of 2gh. By applying v square minus u square is equal to 2as. You will get this. So this is the velocity with which it hits the ground. Now this is equal to u. Okay. Because if you apply v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So this is h. During ascent, apply v square minus u square is equal to 2as. 2as during ascent. So what you will get? u0 minus u square, 2 minus g, h is h. So this minus minus you get cancel, u is equal to square root of 2gh. So u is equal to v. Okay. So what we can write? Mod v is equal to, here we can write v is equal to u, but it is opposite in direction. U is up, v is down. Magnitude of v is equal to magnitude of u. Clear? Now, if air resistance is considered, if air resistance, let it be F, is considered, what happens? If air resistance is considered, so the velocity with which it hits the ground is different from velocity with which it rises up. Okay? If u is the velocity of projection, and v is the velocity with which it hits the ground. Now these two are not equal. If air resistance is neglected, then these two are equal. If air resistance is considered, then how these two are related? So you apply v square minus u square 2as during ascent. So what you will get? So during ascent v square 0, because after reaching maximum height its velocity becomes 0. So initial velocity u square 2a, acceleration is minus g, and so acceleration is here, it will changes. So as it ascends, gravity will be down. And the air resistance will also oppose down. Let it be F. Air resistance, let it be F. So what is the net force? So here that force, let it be F. Air resistance, opposing force, let it be F. So downward force is mg. So what is the net of downward force? Is mg plus F. So that is net downward force. Right here. So if air resistance is considered, the acceleration is net force by mass. Okay, you have to use this formula. Net force is downward force mg, plus when it ascends, force is acting downwards. Air opposes its motion. It is opposing force. Clear? That is called resistance force. So let it be F. So net force by, this is net force, mg plus F, air resistance force, by m. So effective acceleration is g mg by mg plus F by m. So during ascent, acceleration is we have g of F by m into s. S means let it be h. It rises to a height h. So you call it as equation 1. This is minus. So this minus get cancelled. So u square is equal to 2h into g plus f by m. You call it as equation 1. Okay. Now if it rises to a height h and it returns from same height, but when during return it hits the ground with velocity v. So this velocity is generally less than this velocity because air resistance is there. So during descent, air resistance will act upwards because it is a opposing force. During ascent, air resistance acts downwards because it opposes. During descent, air resistance acts upwards because it opposes. So since it is acts upwards, this is acceleration during ascent. This is during ascent, acceleration. During descent, what is acceleration? Net force by net mass. What is the net force? mg is acting down, air force acting upwards. So net is minus mg minus f by m. So that is A is equal to g minus f by m. Okay. So this is acceleration during descent. So I am apply v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay. So I am applying again this during descent. Okay. So what is the descent? Here starting velocity is 0. It will rises until its velocity becomes 0. So initial velocity 0. With what velocity it hits the ground? Let it be v square. This will becomes 0. So 0. This will becomes minus 0. To a. What is the a during descent? G of f minus m down into h. So that is v square is equal to, so what is v square? Square root of v. So v square I am writing here is u square. Okay. So this is v is equal to 2h of g minus f by m. That is v. You call it as equation 2. This is equation 1. I will write u. So from this u is equal to square root of 2h of g plus f by m. Okay. This is u. So you take v by u. So how they are related? So v by u. V by u is equal to, so they are equal? U 2h of g plus f by m, v is 2h of g minus f. So from equations 1 and 2 we can say that we have what, or definitely v less than u. They are not equal, hence proved. Okay. By seeing these two equations mathematically we can say that v is less than u. Because here it is minus, here it is plus. That is the reason. Next, so I want v by u. What is v by u? Square root of 2gh, dh get cancelled. That is under root g minus f by m by g plus f by m. Okay. So this is the answer. V by u. Or we can write, if you take m as common, mg minus f by mg plus f, where f is air resistance. What is f? Where f is air resistance. Okay. Next, what is I want the time of ascent during ascent. Clear this one? So here I explained velocities. If air resistance is considered, okay. So velocity of projection is greater than velocity with which it hits the ground. Can you say why? Because air resistance, it is opposing force, it loses some of its energy. That's why its velocity will be less. Okay. So I want a time of ascent if air resistance is considered. Okay. Time of ascent. Time of ascent. I want TA if air resistance is considered. So apply V is equal to U plus AT. Okay. What is V? 0. U, velocity of projection. What is A? During ascent. During ascent, A is G of minus G of plus F by M into T. T is time of ascent. So time of ascent is if U is the velocity of projection by G plus F by M. So this is expression for time of ascent. What is U? If body is projected with velocity U, if air resistance is considered, then time of ascent is U by G plus F by M. See, if you keep F0 here, you will get U by Z as you get earlier if air resistance is neglected. That means you keep F is equal to 0. Okay. So I want a time of descent. Time of descent. Okay. So time of descent, what is the time of descent? We want a time of descent. Initial velocity is 0. So with what velocity it will hits the ground? So velocity it will hits the ground is, so I am applying what height it will rise, with the same height it will falls. Okay. So I am applying S is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay. So similarly, time of descent, we can prove that time of descent you will get U by G plus G minus F by M. Okay. Similarly, we can prove this one, that is left to you. This is work for you, left to you. Okay. You solve this one. So time of ascent is equal to, so which one is greater? Time of ascent is U by G plus F by M. Time of descent is U by G minus F by M. From this, what we can say that this time of, this is less, this will be more. Time of descent will be greater than time of ascent. So conclusion is, if air resistance is considered, time of descent is greater than time of ascent. If air resistance is neglected, time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Clear? Take this.